shoulders, and that was one thing that struck me, is that you'd say you've got a problem with your knee, but actually it's the way your shoulders are.
When I see someone with a back and the person will lying down, well, sorry, I'm a practitioner. I will look at your feet if they are there, and then it will tell me sometimes a lot.
I remember you got me to stick my tongue out. You went, "That's white," and I went, "I know it is." And you went, "No, that's damp. That's damp."
Chinese medicine for you.
Yeah.
Finally, it is Martina. Thank you.
Welcome. Thanks for doing this.
And thank you to have me on the board.
More than welcome. So I think it might be better for everybody just to introduce yourself first of all.
Yes, so Martina, I'm about 15 plus years in complementary holistic alternative therapies, and that's what I do full time, healing mind, body, soul, and helping people on their health and well-being journeys to become the best version of themselves, to facing aches, pains, emotional difficulties through the finding the ways in alternative therapies.
Now, you know that this is called Local Heroes, and the
Yes.
reason why you're on it is because there are lots and lots of people who have their own businesses and passions and sports and hobbies and all those things, trying to make things a really good go. When I met you, well, when I heard your name,
Yeah.
I came round to your place. So you've got your own unit, which
Yes.
is on Causeway Avenue, I think it
Yeah.
is, in Warrington.
Causeway Avenue, and is part of the Hook and Jump building in Palatine Industrial Estate. So easy find from if you drive in from town centre towards Stockton Heath. Loads of the people know Palatine Industrial Estate because it's a quite big place, and few businesses are there already. And Hook and Jump as a gym was there a long time ago.
So you've got a unit there. You're on your own. It's your own business.
Yes.
And it's split into two halves, what I remember. And by the way, it was beautifully maintained. It was a beautiful place to go to.
Thank
You've got it
you.
lovely. It's really nice. And so apart from all the certificates all over the walls everywhere, like covered,
Well,
you qualified in everything. And hopefully we might be able to touch on 2 or 3 of those things, right? But in there, you've got your assessment area.
yeah.
But you've also got, I noticed, through the door, which was awesome. It's like it's not a mini gym, but it's something which I'm assuming you use for functional fitness therapy.
Yeah, because I'm specialized in sport rehabilitation and injuries, also strength and conditioning. We was the part. And while I was at university, I did complete my personal training. And before I was in a gym, plays in a gym, and I was teaching conditional classes as well. Obviously, COVID came in a way. So for now, I have a part of my clinic. It's for the functional training when I prescribe exercise plan for my patients, or when we are going through the certain movement or certain exercises when they are when they having difficulties with, to make them the best, and sometimes the assessment of the certain movement.
So
Essentially,
we know that there are people at Prism, for example, here who, but pure coincidentally, come to see you to either have the back sorted or whatever it may well be. So it was amazing to hear that I knew people who came to see you, right? So that was good. But the one thing that struck me about your practice is that although I don't know whether or not, by the way, most of your revenue would be through that initial thinking about, I've got a problem with my knee, I need to go and sort it out. Is that you're holistic? And that was one thing that struck me, is that you'd say you've got a problem with your knee, but actually it's the way your shoulders are.
well, because the whole point of the holistic approach or the holistic medicine or the holistic healing is the looking at the person as the whole. So, and when someone will come and see me in my practice, it's always a consultation where sometimes I can ask random questions. How's your sleep? If someone specifically requires something more holistic wise and not just an injury, because if it's more physio based and the people just want to focus on one things, I know they won't come back because I'm the holistic therapist and I will look as the person as the whole. And I think so that's my niche field, why the people come and see me. Because the general or physio will be more specified for the local problem, whereas the holistic therapies, we always looking as the person as the whole. And sometimes the body will store the emotional problems in other certain part of the bodies, or the injury from years ago can have an impact in a life if it's not dealt with it certain ways.
Hmm.
I know the Western medicine will go against this and is always pros and cons and yes and no. But if it would be the same, there wouldn't be an argument. But the life is not just simple line.
So
So
how do people find you? Is it that they have to I don't think they get referred by a GP, or will they? Or how
they
do they
could
find you?
do, but most people will come and see me because I'm specialized for fertility, and more people these days recognize the holistic health and well-being, so they are more reaching out for the holistic person. Because if someone will come and see me, like for example one of your friends, and this is supplementation recommendation, the things where you can improve to maintain you as the whole, and then will have an impact on your like certain problems or the injury. But also our human bodies are made to heal, so I'm there just that middle helper and show the people uh, ways how they can improve their own healing process. Because I shouldn't say, oh yeah, I will heal that. No, I won't. You will heal yourself, but I'm there to help you on your healing journey, either with the holistic treatments, or with a certain exercise, or with the food adjustment, or supplementation, or mindfulness. If it's something what I won't do, then I will refer you to go and see someone else. So it's a package.
So for someone who may have a problem with their lower back, they may have a problem with their neck or their knee, let's say, because those are the things that
The
are
most,
the warning signs that if there's something going on.
yeah.
Is that is that the first step where someone may seek you out, and then what you'll do is say, actually, we need to take a look at you as a whole then, because there's something else that is causing
Yeah,
this
well,
problem.
sometimes, because if I do like a quick consultation, just all the precautions, even the general practitioner would do that. Then I uh, I either suggest if they want something deeper, because obviously you can't pressure this on everyone. The people can feel overwhelmed, but sometimes after few sessions, the person will wanna learn more about themselves and change the few things. Because I will say, oh, I can guide you on this if you want in the future. But some people, like I had a patient, and she came, for example, yesterday, and she booked something from through the online booking. And I asked her, like, why did you choose this? Like, have you ever had this treatment? And she said, no, I haven't. And I said, because this is something what the people would usually already either tried or been explained. So I explained what that session would have involved. And then as I have the consultation, I said to her, well, but for your problem, I would actually recommend it something different, and we tailor that all included.
Okay.
So that's how it works. Because every patient is different. Every session will be different. Yes, if someone will come, let's say, for post-operative manual lymphatic drainage, because I do that as well, then obviously it will be different than someone who is coming for reflexology with acupuncture.
Do most people come for um, like I suppose folk would think alternative then, so reflex and acupuncture, probably cupping as well. They're therapies which may not necessarily pop into people's minds. So, but do they work hand in glove with functional therapy? Would you say?
So reflexology, let's talk about reflexology. Reflexology is wonderful, but if someone will coming with a neck pain, and I know it's other things that would be far more effective in the short period, I'll say, well, I'm happy to do your reflexology, but it's really for your back neck posture. as a, even just a split a session, I would recommend do more something else.
Yeah, because
Manual therapy, active release, some maybe soft deep tissue treatment, cupping, acupuncture, other than reflexology is wonderful, and it's so many benefits of reflexology. But I would more, especially for back neck pain, I would recommend it something else. But if person doesn't want anything, then I obviously will perform what they want.
when would you use reflexology? What's its purpose?
Anything. I have so many successful stories before I learn acupuncture with infertility, with fertility journeys, and we have few babies who've been born just purely through the reflexology and some healing. Help with sleeping, anxiety, calming, certain aches, pains, because the full body is on your feet, well, nerve endings and the acupuncture points, meridians, your hands, your feet, your ears. So it's not only the feet. Some people don't even know, but you can perform reflexology on the hands, so on the ears. Years ago, I had a patient client become a friend after severe accident, and we couldn't perform reflexology on his feet, and in that purpose the treatment was used to make the client as more comfortable and less in pain, because he couldn't tolerate anything else. It's fantastic for the cancer patients, or even the cancer patients' families, because it's calming and it's so nice and balancing. So on that injured guy, I was performing reflexology on his hands and ears, if it was possible, because obviously you need to be careful
I think
how much you tolerate.
is it here between the forefinger and the
Large
thumb?
intestine 4. That's
Yeah, so is that headache? Is that sort of headaches out
it's
over there?
a good emotional balance, yin and
Yeah,
yang, and yeah, it will work on the head. It's a cardinal point for the face
yeah.
as well, and head, face,
Okay.
face. I always use that with any facial treatment.
Well, that's interesting because I think there's acupuncture
It is
points here as well,
acupuncture,
isn't there?
large intestine 4.
Yeah. So what we'll do is when we have that, we'll probably put the reflex picture on the screen as we're
Yeah.
talking about this particular element, because I think if we describe reflex, when you say there's all the points of the body are on there, it almost works in a grid, doesn't it? So you can sort of see, I think the left hand side of the foot is the spine, the tops of the toes is the head, down into the neck.
So we
You have the,
always have to put the both hands. You can't just do one hand. It's both hands,
yeah.
yeah? And it will start well, if you will have a feed, the head, the eyes, the ears, the collarbone, the spine, and all of the systems there. And when I was in holistic school, we learned reflexology over 2 years, and you started with first of all with meridian, the simplest way to balance it out. All of the holistic alternative therapies works just to bring the body to the most balanced way to be able to heal itself. Because when someone's, let's say, have disturbed sleeps, and reflexology will help with that, well, if you can't sleep well, you can't really recover fully. So if I will help you with the sleep, then you can recover more. If you recover more, you will have more power, more strength to do other things. It's like a circle.
Can you spot? So, for example, you take, I don't know, maybe the left foot. Sorry, you said you take both, don't you? But let's say you're having a press round, you could probably sense someone's got like maybe a gallbladder problem, or maybe liver is inflamed, or
Yeah,
yeah.
or help the baby on the birth canal to come out a little bit
And
smoother.
is that because you can feel nodules, or it's like, you know, like when you have a bad back and you get
Yeah,
muscle nodules? Is it
you
the same? You
feel
can feel it.
you feel some hardness. You noticing the skins. You noticing any color on the feet. You also noticing the condition of the skin, any hard skin, any blisters, anything. So the food will tell you a lot.
Mm.
Because when I see someone with a back and the person will lying down, well, sorry, I'm a practitioner. I will look in your feet if they are there, and then it will tell me sometimes a lot. Because you can see if the person carrying so much heavy emotions on the shoulders, it will have an impact on the chest. That will have an impact on your feet. Because you walk in different. Well, when you carry your 10 kilo of the worries on your back.
So you'll push some of that into other physiological problems, like probably hips, as you say, lower back, then probably into the shoulders,
Yeah.
whatever. So you can. It's all about trying to get a balance within the anatomy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that if you have like a reflex treatment, being hydrated afterwards is really important. And would you take a course of reflexology, or
Yeah,
would you?
some
Is
people
that what they
will.
do?
Some people comes once a week. Some people comes once a month. If someone, let's say, going through the fertility, then every 3 weeks, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. You can't really push such a things on someone. It's their personal healing journey. If someone feels, obviously, you will notice different benefits when you have few sessions, closer period, while the problem is spiking up. But once all this balance, it's really just a personal care, self-care.
So what was interesting about you, Martina, was when you say the name Martina, everybody goes, "I know who that is." And in fact, there's people coming onto podcasts and probably already been who
Yeah.
know you,
Oh,
and
I
you
seen
are
them.
in high regard. And I think what's interesting about you, which I noticed when I went down to your clinic, was that, as I say, you didn't just specialize in one thing or two things or three. There's a whole wide range of facilities and techniques which can help you, whatever age you are and whatever injury that you had.
Whatever age you are,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then you might say, look, not only is it something physical or functional, you need to sort your nutrition out, Mark. Or I remember you got me to stick my tongue out, and you went, "That's white," and I went, "I know it is." And he went, "No, that's damp. There's a
That's
dampness."
Chinese medicine for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Chinese medicine, and Chinese medicine diagnose. One of the diagnostic tools with the Chinese medicine is tongue. Tongue pulls eyes because eyes will tell a lot.
Okay.
So the tongue. Tongue is the most important.
What can you tell? So you get cracks on the tongue, so that would be like a lack of B vitamins, or so. What do you get from
From
that?
tongue,
Yeah.
well, you will get the full body condition from the tongue. You will. Because the tongue is divided. If you want to introduce the picture of the tongue, you can download from any Google facilities. The tongue is divided as our human body is divided, so we will have every single organs sit on the tongue. And then you see if the tongue is nice, pink and healthy, or if it's poor things, so red and cracked and dried, or if it will have any heavy sticky yellow coat. So every single thing, every single difference on compared to the healthy tongue will give you some indications that something is out of balance and working harder than it should, or doesn't work
So
really well.
is that something that you would do with every patient anyway?
No,
Just say,
no.
no, just stick your tongue out with it
No,
and have a
no,
look.
no, no, no,
No.
no, no. With every patient, obviously, if you're coming with your bag, I'm not asking to stick your tongue out. But if someone will come for Chinese medicine, and more people these days are looking for the alternative ways to improve the body. If someone will wanna come for acupuncture, not just acupuncture, the for the injury purpose, but acupuncture as the healing side, then without the diagnostics, I can't just go and open the book. Oh yeah, I think so. It will be this. No, every single needle it have to have a purpose, and to be able for me to choose the best needles, I need to know more about the patient. So the consultation is longer. It's I usually present patients home about 16-page long form what I require to fill prior to the session, so I can have some indications what would be the best treatment for the patients. And when they are there, we will go through certain questions and tailor the treatment for the best. And in this case, definitely less is more. And every single needle have to have a purpose. From the first needle you're gonna stick in.
So I remember we must be going back 10 years now. I had a headache, I had it for a month, maybe something like that. And I was having physio at the time to try and sort something out. So that was when I experienced acupuncture for the first time, and
With a physio.
it was at a physio. It was at a sports. It was at a sports injury clinic actually. But I was having physio there, and they suggested having acupuncture. I'd never had it before, and I would say within the hour, my headache had gone.
Mm. Yeah, usually once you are qualified as a physiotherapist, you can go and do some CPD course on the dry needling. They do call it acupuncture, but acupuncture as a traditional Chinese method, it's something what will take far more longer to learn by the diagnostics what we do. When you go to see physio, they will learn, let's say, 20 points where to stick the needle on the body, and they will use it because in their settings and practice, that's enough what they need to know. They don't need to spend another 1, 2, 3 years to learn Chinese medicine. That's completely different side than the Western medicine aspect of the physiotherapy.
So why would somebody come specifically for Chinese medicine therapy? And the reason why I ask is because it might not necessarily be the first thing that somebody would think of. So I'll take myself, always use myself as the example.
Yeah,
Right?
that's lovely.
If I had a problem with my shoulder, which I do, or my back, for example, I might go, I need to go to sports massage and have chiropractic, and I'll make that decision myself. Having the alternative therapy, although I don't think we should call it that, I think it's a therapy in its own right. Is I wouldn't have thought about that necessarily, and I would have, and again, using me as an example, I would say I might go to acupuncture if I've got a bit of a neck pain, I can't get rid of it because I know that it helped my head, and I might go for reflex because I was curious,
Okay.
right? So it isn't the first thing, is it, that people think about? So what draws people to you? Because you're so good at it and you're hyper qualified in this. So why would somebody come, and how can we help them think actually you might just need this rather than a chiropractic type?
Why? I don't know if because it's my background and it's so many successful injuries or problems I had. Don't get me wrong, there was the people who I couldn't help and they ended up in hospital. Sometimes you have to. I'm not a magician. I can only do my best. I know, sadly, wish I could, because sometimes I have to send them to A&E. It's can't do anything else. But why people come and see me? Because I'll just say it as it is and I'll just deal with the problem. And if there is something where you can improve in a life, and maybe it's impact of my culture as well, because we deal with the problems as it is, and I don't like taking too many medications. So if there is alternative way, how you can help prevent, improved, without overusing yourself on the tablets and harming your liver and your kidneys even more, and your stomach and digestive system, then I would rather go for that. And majority of my patients being by the recommendation, because oh yeah, she helped me, so go and see her.
So you grew up in Slovakia.
Yes, I did.
Is that where you did your studies?
No, I study actually here in England. I study business and marketing in Slovakia and accountancy. I'm a good accountant, believe me or not. So it was useful at the beginning when I was doing my own books. And then in 2008, after, it's always have to be some reason, but back in my head, I knew I was always drawn to the alternative therapies and alternative ways, and why you are unwell and why you are ill. That was always the questions, and that was my passions. When I recall back in my teenage age, I had the books about the self-healing and self-hypnotherapy and card reads and past life and this life. So 2008, I had a little bit hard year, and I sat there. I started reading my books, what I purchased 10 years ago when I was a teenager. Didn't mean the full that time. And after that, the life just changed. And I said, well, I'm going to do what I want to do. And signed myself for 6 weeks introduction to the holistic therapies at local college. And after that, I remember I was with my best friend. And yeah, and the price of the course. So I apply, and she said, "I'll borrow you money. You need to do that, Martina." So I did. I went, and it's just opened a whole door into the almost drawing you to learn more and know more. And it was fantastic. And we had a fantastic teacher, and you just wanted know more and how you can improve and help people on the
So,
healing journeys.
so you had an attraction to it. There was a curiosity. It
Yeah,
sounds to me there was a curiosity
yeah.
to it and something like a little click there. But I think I'm just wondering, when you were a child, were you sporty at all? I'm just wondering where the curiosity came through around healing. Because were you sporty? Did you start? Um, did you get any injuries yourself? How did that
Oh,
work?
you're not gonna believe, but I was one of the shy, low self-esteem teenager who actually went to see the doctor and asked for the paper not to be able to exercise because I was the shy. I was quite tall and I just uh, didn't want exercise. And my feet was flat, my posture was shocking, and I had neck pain, back pain, that pain, headaches, and they was dragging me all over, the doctors everywhere, and no one couldn't find out. And then obviously I finished my studies in Slovakia, and after that, this 6 months trip to England came. Well, after a few weeks, I said, well, it's not actually that bad here. And
Because the culture is slightly different. Because in Slovakia, you've got the most beautiful like botanical gardens
oh,
and
stunning.
everything's organic there, isn't it?
Yeah,
Practically.
massively. I came
Yeah.
from the little village in the valley. I been brought up on. For me, what for you it's so organic, and this for me is really normal. And so that's why when I see what the people eat here around, I'm just shaking my head and like, really, why? Why you eat this? I've been brought up completely different. Everything was homegrown, homemade. We never had a takeaway ever, ever, ever. I ate McDonald's in my whole entire life, and I'm 42, maybe 10 times. So different. It's you can't say it's better there, better here. It's different. Every
Mm-hmm.
culture is different.
Mm.
So my grandmother was herbalist. My mum was following after. We picked the herbs. Even when I went on holiday, we went to pick in some herbs, and we have all the different herbs dry there to be able to make the teas. So, and that's what you will drink when you are unwell. Yes, but here, if you want to do that, you have to have the certain paper for it and call yourself herbalist. There, it's fully normal. Talking about Chinese cooking from one of my treatments, it's every single grandmother would use that at home with no even, it's just something will be passed
Or
over
without
the
even
genetic.
thinking about it, you would
No,
just do it.
exactly. You will have a cold. Well, your mother just gonna use some natural remedies to prevent your stomach to take in tablets.
Right. What, like ginger and lemon
Yeah,
or
it
something?
would be the herbal tea with about 4, 5 different herbs what my mother harvests and make. Plus, yeah, tea and honey. Everybody will have some bees. So even if not every family, but someone will be in a village who will give you some honey. And yeah, drinking loads fluids.
Well, the funny thing is that just reminds me of when I came over to your clinic to have a chat with you, and you gave me a cup of tea with all the leaves and herbs, and it was all floating on the top.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Anyway, I started drinking it, and I was chewing. I was chewing all the leaves, thinking, am I supposed to be chewing these? So I was like chewing like that. This is like, and you were saying, what are you doing?
yeah,
You're
well,
not supposed to be eating this stuff. You'll be high as a kite, you said to me. And I was like,
it's
oh, right.
yeah,
So I, so I
but
filtered it out straight away onto
I
the
have
tissue.
to understand it's not everybody will be like me, and if I would have the proper teapot there, then you wouldn't need it to do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes there are certain things where you can actually eat if you are blending some herbs, but this no, I wouldn't recommend. Well, do it if you want, but I wouldn't.
So you have this. It's almost like it's not a free spirit. I've not. I've used. I use free spirit a lot, by the way, to
I do believe in
Yeah, to try and just describe it's not restricted in any way. You've got this open land which you've come from. Your family and community sounds like it's quite close together. So I'm
very.
assuming that the hierarchy is the matriarchy or the patriarchy, whatever family you came from, they all live together as a community. So I guess on you know what I'm getting to is that when you came here and you
Yeah.
see separate communities, we're all in little boxes. It's quite dark, isn't it? What did you make of it?
You know what? I never felt I have been foreign here. Never. Everybody been so nice and welcoming. And ever since the first day, I have a friend. Well, we are still friends till now. So I never felt being foreign with the English people ever. Never. And I remember once I went in takeaway. There was the first time and last time when I ever tried the doner meat. I still don't understand what is that. And someone was quite verbally mean to me, some young drunk lad, and some another person just backed me up, and it was so nice. So I never felt like not be part here. And obviously when you are living here nearly half of my entire life, it's yeah, it's just a second home, and the culture is different, but it's nice to know the culture from different country. And you should never say, oh, it's bad, or this is bad, and this is this. It's different. If you would be brought up by something else, you would know more. But obviously, because it's Ireland and you are quite limited, what for us is normal, for here is brand new and so excited. It's sometimes quite nice and funny, and it's just a learning journey. And we shouldn't be judgmental. If the people doesn't know, there is maybe this place where I help you to know more. And it's so many things what I didn't know when I was in Slovakia, what I learned here. So it's just nice combination.
Doner meat, by the way,
Oh.
and a kebab
Yes.
should be law. So after you've had a few beers,
Yeah.
it's the law. It's part of the medicinal process.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I tried maybe 1 inch, and with all respect, I leave it to the people who loves it. I will stick to my chicken, beef, lamb, turkey, whatever else, pigeons.
So you had a, a sort of a visceral interest in health. And
Yeah.
it sounds like you did as a child because you had the book for 10 years.
I did.
Right. So you must have had some curiosity there.
Massively, but there is no really option like here. Obviously there wasn't very there wasn't any college where you could actually study alternative therapies where I'm from, because it's so widely used between people as a norm, as a normal things. Like for even massage, there someone will go for some course and or from some massage school, and will start massage. But because the rehabilitation and the well-being side in my country, it took like more than here. Then here is still quite the people will put the health on the second side, second line. Then
Yeah. So do you mean that you're more than likely not to have it as a priority?
Because do you know anyone here in England or any doctor who will actually prescribe you? Yes, 10 massage session. Yes, 10 other than physio. Yeah, physio is prescribed, but they won't send you just go for the rehabilitation hospital where you will be in a rehab baths and you will have the hydrotherapy, the mood, the massages. I don't know, different showers, swims, exercise classes. It doesn't exist in this country. Maybe for some elite level people, but for normal, no. A good example is my mother. She has a hip replacement, and part of our healthcare system, after the operation, the recovery process at home, she will be sent off to the rehabilitation place for a month and a half, and she will be there 24/7, living to do all the rehab stuff, the exercise, the swimmings, the hydro pools, everything. Come back fully recovered. You don't have it here?
Not as the primary
No.
care. It's a probably a pill to
Paracetamol.
help with pain, isn't it? And then perhaps some physio if you can get there.
So it's but this is down to the government and the healthcare system built slightly different.
Well, a lot of some of the problems we have though is nutrition and health. Especially inflammation. So I think there's two things in particular. I think one is lack of movement.
Yep.
Because we are either driving constantly or we're in at desks most of the time. So your posture is probably a long period of time.
Lack of mobility, lack of movement, no mobility, but definitely lack of movement, because the society is so high speed, really fast paced, so much demand on the people. Nearly every company or every industry is lacking on a staff. Mental pressure on the people, it's causing so much stress. The stress will spike insulin. The people will usually start in craving or going on different fast food because it's quick. If everything would slow down more, they would have more time for themselves. I know loads of my patients will say, I don't have a time. And you know what? First, at the beginning, I was like, oh, you must create the time. But now when I see how people are so pressured in their jobs and so lack of the knowledge, they usually will go for the easy options where. And also some people say, oh, it's money. As a maid, if you would cook at home, it wouldn't cost you as much as your even them meal deals daily.
Well, there's a price to pay. There's the price to pay with convenience. But you just mentioned affordability, which is interesting because people can afford to eat healthily.
They can. They doesn't want. They go for easy option.
The price people pay, I think, is inflammation. I don't think many people understand what causes inflammation, like trans fats, for example.
Massive.
Terrible for you.
McDonald's, just name one. Sorry.
Yeah, well, indeed. So vegetable oil, for example, is terrible for you. Margarine, which isn't actually a thing.
You see, but many years ago, what they made, and ever since after margarine, the heart conditions just spiked. And I don't use margarine. I was always against it because I remember when my mom or grandma said, well, if you can't put it on your skin, I don't think so you should be able to eat. And same with any skin products. I'm trying to eliminate the toxins and other things as less as possible. Even with the makeups and body care, most natural as I can. We don't use at home body wash. The shampoo is really natural. If I go somewhere to these marketplaces, I buy my own. I went in Slovakia, we went to the farmers market. I bought a few things I took here because I only use soap. So I really try to do as less chemical as possible. Obviously, you can't avoid it fully, but regards the oils. No, I use lard and real butter. Yeah, thank you. And olive oil for salads. Apple cider vinegar. I drink that for 20 plus years. The people just find it now. It's been here for ever since I remember.
Apple cider vinegar's
It's amazing.
definitely on record for being good for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's aid digestions. But again, that's the culture because fermented food, well, I grew up on fermented food. It's just normal for me. Well, obviously, also Chinese as well because they have their own kimchi. But you didn't have it part in your diet, but it's understandable because this is different island, different climate. You didn't need to eat that. But if the people would go back in days, what really English people ate, your diet wasn't bad. It's just been now introduced with the westernized and mixed with everything. So people go for the easy options. I don't understand cereals. Never did. I ate cereal a few times in my life when I was age 17 or 18. I never ate that for breakfast.
Well, you get a terrible insulin spike with cereal.
And it won't give me anything nutritional. Why would I even add that? I'll have for my breakfast either Scottish oats or the eggs and ham. Eggs ideally from the local farmers. Oh, I managed to bring some from Slovakia, yeah, illegally
I had, I,
in my pocket.
I had some suspicions that I was struggling with certain types of food. This is before. There seems to be this period, by the way, which is pre-COVID and after COVID, right? And I
Oh,
mention
well,
COVID a
yeah.
lot because
At
it's
least will
like
be
sticks
like a
in my
war,
brain. I go, "Yeah."
even after war.
And so I decided to get my bloods checked because I thought there's something not quite right here. I've got brain fog a lot. Even when I'm training, I'm not feeling great, and I did feel that there were certain things that weren't working for me. So I decided to have my bloods done as a foundation.
Yeah.
And I found that one of them, four of them I was pretty happy with. I'll try and remember what they were, but one of them I was like, what? I didn't even know that. So the first one was yeast. So I had my bloods done
Yes,
because
and
I was keen to.
yeah, yeast spike.
Yeah, so yeast. So I found it's actually quite good actually because it gave you a whole breakdown of exactly what I can tolerate and not tolerate. I think rather than saying that you're allergic to it, I think it talks about your tolerance levels and that the scale of the tolerance levels from red to green gave you an inflammation risk. I think it was talking about. And I'm assuming that when you have your bloods done and it tells you these things, it would cause an adverse reaction somewhere. It's probably going to cause some sort of long term problem in the end if you continue to consume these things. So yeast was one, which I was a bit eyebrows raised up about it because obviously I like having a cascale every now and again, whatever else. But what I did know, which I wasn't surprised about, was I do get bad tummies from it, and I was always bloated. Always bloated if I drink beer. The other one was wheat.
Okay.
So again, if I eat bread in particular, that was a red. So I sort of struggle with that. And then I think it went down to dairy. I was sort of an amber on dairy, particularly with digestion of dairy. Even though I think dairy is absolutely perfectly fine for you. I don't particularly like butter anyway, and there's a story behind that. Reason why I don't, but so I don't avoid it because of that. I do know it's actually decent for you, a bit like ghee, anything like that is good for you. It's natural. But I seem to have an intolerance to it, so I'm wondering if it was milk rather than dairy in itself. I tend not to eat cheese too much. I always feel claggy with that. And then there was one other which I've forgotten about, but then the one that made me raise my eyebrows the most, and it was very specific. It said, "You're intolerant to Sauvignon Blanc."
Pardon.
Sauvignon Blanc, white wine,
Oh, fair play.
which I was like properly distressed about because I thought, well, that's every Friday night with the missus, isn't it? I can't. So yeah, so my toleration for those things. So when I've cut those out, apart from the accidental white wine, I'm so less uncomfortable.
Mm.
And I felt my um, obviously got to work on it, but my waist size
Shrink.
changed straight away,
Shrunk.
and that was just purely by switching out these things that cause inflammation and actually acid. So I was beginning to get like an acid reflux.
You do have an acid reflux.
Yeah,
But you
but
see,
it was to do with what I was digesting. So somebody else I know is an alternative therapist, holistic therapist, and they were saying your body's just incapable of digesting these things properly. It's just going to sit there, and you're going to get this acid issue. So now that my body's not having to deal with these things,
no more acid
I'm
reflux.
not having. So I'm sleeping a lot better. I'm not getting that terrible thing in my throat anymore.
Burning.
The burning, exactly. So
Yeah.
I'd wake up with a really sore throat, wondering what the heck it was. And of course, it would be beer, bread, dairy,
Mm.
and obviously copious amounts of Sauvignon Blanc.
Mm. So it's a combination. But you see, talking about the acid reflux, that's a good one because years ago I was suffering with acid reflux and acid reflux, but I couldn't put my head around why. Because my diet was really good, was generally really good. Maybe could be like in the past some effect. So I started searching more about the other symptoms because I was tired, my hair was drier, my nails wasn't in the greatest conditions, and I found out if you have an acid reflux, it's not necessarily you had too much acids. You actually don't have enough to be able to digest. But to test that, the test is really pricey. I think so. I could be wrong if I don't remember very well. It's a German's Professor Hildeberg, and he has some Hildeberg test to be able to test if you have enough digestive acids. So there's alternative what I have done on myself, and it worked wonders. And I would recommend that to anyone who suffer to start with, because it only costs about £15 to be able to test. And obviously after that, you just need introduce more fermenting food and change your things. Sauerkraut and kefir and sour milk and kimchi and food to help you with digestions, because we should be able to digest certain things without any problems. But obviously if your stomach been overused by other things so much, well, you're weakening out. So you just need really supportive. But obviously you won't know if you had either enough or too much, if you have lacking or too much acids if you don't test it. Just by saying I have acid reflux, that's not indication you have too much acids. You can actually lack in on a digestive enzymes, and there is a certain enzyme where you can purchase alternative one as a food supplement and help with your digestions. But if it's a certain foods that cause you inflammation, obviously you want to eliminate that to be able to get yourself the best.
Well, I was reading about the impact on acid to the esophagus in particular,
Heavy,
and
heavy,
there's a
heavy.
huge because there's very clearly a change in diet. Let's say the foods we're eating today didn't probably exist 100 years ago, and I think it's 90% of the foods we eat today is
Ahmed?
produced. Yep, exactly. But there's a real increase in esophagus cancers,
Yes.
peptic ulcers.
Diverticulitis,
Yeah.
it's ulcers in the large intestine. Well, are you surprised with what the people eat these days? I'm fully not surprised at all. And also the stress, that the emotional side will have an impact, and the physical side, they're not moving. So all these three aspects will play the role on how the people are. I know some people will say, oh yeah, cancer was here many years ago, it just wasn't diagnosed. Well, clearly wasn't to this level. Every second person now is diagnosed with cancer, so it will be one of us.
There's a response.
Yeah.
It's senescence. So it's senescence, isn't it? Which is the body trying to heal itself or trying to regenerate itself. Then it creates the tumor. So when you began reading that book from 10 years ago,
Yep.
you were suffering, I think. Were you suffering with a back injury at that time?
I had
Was
a back.
that the time when you were
back in-
reading the book?
No, I had a back injury and back problems and neck pains and flat feet over my all over my growing up, because I'm quite tall, and as you grow, and then emotional aspect, when you are not full of self confidence, you're not gonna stand like usually you stand like this, trying to sulk. So and that will have an emotional impact as well. Or emotional impact will have the impact on your posture also. So when I was reading that book, the book actually, I will say till today, that book changed my life.
What was it called?
It's called Power of the Positive Thinking. You can, if you know you can. So everybody can do whatever they want, but people are lacking in self-belief. All is built down self-belief, self-love, self-care. You believe you can and you will. There is always, always, always a way to change your life if you really want. And if you are not sure about it, then it's inside you. It's just sleeping there, waiting for the moment for you to believe and start working on yourself. And I have so many people over the years who I seen change, grow, and I was part of their journey. It's just beautiful to see that I have an impact on someone's life, because I know how hard it is when you are trying to find your inner self, and when you find it, the life just become beautiful, because there's not as such a thing as you can everything. You can do whatever you want. You want to change your life, well, change it. No one's stopping you, just you and your own self-belief. And there the alternative therapies have so much impact as well. Because if you feel emotionally down, yeah, go and have a reflexology, have a chat with the therapist. Because it's not just you there and we will be quiet for an hour. It's usually communications, and we are asking. Well, I'm asking questions. You tell me something about your story, what them four walls will hurt, and then you'll go home. You feel lighter. Your head is clearer. Well, if you had a reflexology, you're walking like on a cloud. You will go home, have a best sleep, wake up in the morning, and yeah, your new life is there. Go and do what you want. Is it beautiful?
For sure.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly.
And if people had the again, it's just the understanding, just do that.
Yeah,
There is a definite thing about the art of positive thinking.
it's massive. And that implies to everything, even exercise. Sometimes you feel, oh, I can't be asked. Well, that's a different than if you are physically really drained and the rest is
Then
what
rest.
you really need.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you go there and you just, oh, I don't know, I can't be asked go. And when you will drag yourself, you build that energy, and energy build energy. You come back to feel amazing about yourself. The cheapest remedy for anxiety and depression is to go and exercise and move
Yeah.
without antidepressants.
So is that a dopamine response?
Yeah, and other happy hormones. Can't remember all of them, can I? So yeah, exercise, movement,
Endorphins.
mindset,
That's what I was thinking.
endorphins.
Yeah.
Mindset, and then when you feel so good about yourself, well, you're not gonna eat shit, aren't you? Because you spend so much effort in a gym to get your mindset really good. Well, you're not gonna kill it with some, well, some not the best food. Shouldn't use the swear word, should I? So yeah, you really will have more self-value and self-care, and it's just the positive cycle. And more energy you build, more energy you will want. Energy build energy. You will feel so energized, so you can do the other things. Your mind is now so quite good set, and you're gonna do the things and change in your own life. Good, isn't it?
Very good.
It's very good.
When and why wouldn't anybody want that?
Why? Well, sometimes people find a ways they feel they are so stuck and they just wanna be the best versions of themselves. It's it's funny because back in days, we shouldn't say obesity, but the people have more self-respect about the outcome, and these days obesity is quite promoted, where I'm sorry, I'm gonna stand against, because that's not healthy. That's a body walking with a lot of inflammation inside.
Mm.
Yes, you can say, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. Well, I want to see your organs surrounded by the fat, sorry.
Mm.
But on another side, sometimes I will fulfill with them when they went through some emotional trauma part, and the food was used as a comfy way. So it's so nice to help them to find a way. You can come out from there. You don't need to be stuck and be fed yourself with that when you feel so low. It's so many alternative ways to help you to build your inner strength and change your life and be a little bit more healthier, because you don't want to die for heart attack or some other health related conditions of from obesity, let's say.
I had my genetics done,
And
tested.
your
Which
inheritance.
yeah,
And
it was fascinating.
Slovakia.
No, what was I? I was surprised actually. I'm like 100% Northern European, so
Wow,
that's 100%.
Scandinavian.
Small percentages from Scandinavia. 5%.
North of Poland.
No, it was all Sweden, Denmark. But a third of me is French German.
Really?
I had no idea.
Well,
So
see.
yeah, so it's a third, an exact third was French straight German, but it wasn't specific as to the area. But the 5% of my DNA is from Portugal. But from that,
Wow.
it was very specific to the very town that 5% of the DNA
That's
came from.
fascinating.
Yeah, which was
I
cool.
never had it done.
The reason why I had it done was it was inspired by the fact that I had my bloods done. So I thought, what else is there that I need to really understand, which is going to help with some sort of longevity? What
Yes,
adjustments would I
longevity.
want to make? Yeah. And so what I found with that was it would say things like you don't have the gene which way you get like dementia or whatever. So it's not telling you don't worry about it, but it's being very specific about the types of genes that can factor in certain issues. The one that came for me was cardiovascular.
Oh, okay.
So I thought, now that I know that, I'm going to do everything I can
To
to
improve,
try and improve at least,
prevent.
try and improve and prevent if I know that I have a high likelihood of cardiovascular disease because of my genetics.
That's fantastic. I never had it done.
It's
Would
brilliant.
wonder.
Yeah. And it comes up with all sorts of stuff, like um, your earlobes probably won't be attached to your face. And I thought, well, I've got floppy ears anyway. I don't know,
But
but there's certain things. It has certain characteristics which it can sort of say based upon these genes and this types. This is what you have. And then there were things like which all rang true for me. I thought, why didn't I know this 30 years ago? For example. You have fast twitch and low twitch muscle fibers. There were those particular types of low twitch. So fast twitch is somebody who can probably run long distances,
yes,
marathon runners, and low twitch is more power. So quick, quick type movements, maybe sprinting or
yes.
throwing or something or jumping things. So I didn't know, but I had a
Fast twitch.
low twitch.
Really?
Yeah, low twitch. And I think it was 1B. I think it was low twitch, and there's 1A and 1B.
So you are good for the long distance running?
Good for the short
Or
distance. So
sprint?
power.
Same as me.
Yeah.
Such a
Which
shame.
was really cool because then I thought, right, well now I know, because when you look at low twitch uh, muscle anatomy, you go, okay, I might as well load up and do 3 reps of heavy weights
Yes.
rather than 20 reps of a 5 kilogram, for example, because I know for my natural,
It's gonna do you more benefit.
it's going to give me more benefit. Yeah, exactly. And so all of that was super helpful, and you get this
That's
view.
fascinating.
You get this huge view. Obviously, the stuff around where your ancestry is from was really cool because you begin to get connections to DNA in the world elsewhere. So you find somebody you didn't know they were your second cousin. You had no idea.
Really? And did you find anyone?
Yeah, but
Did
obviously
you?
the thing with it is that everybody has to be on the same platform. A lot of the genetic companies don't share data.
Okay.
So for example, if you chose a different one to me, we wouldn't know if we
Oh,
were related or
okay.
not related, for example. But the point is that um, obviously all DNA all goes back 250, 300,000 years to one particular human being. That's
Did you
everybody
found?
knows that. But but it also tells you how long your DNA has been on the planet for. So it goes back to Neolithic times. It's really fascinating. You go,
Oh
oh my God,
wow.
how lucky am I that my DNA has been in Northern Europe for hundreds of thousands of years. What a privilege that is. So
Yes.
I'd like to look after it before it goes, right. So that was my thinking. But it's again, so having my bloods done to understand what
The
causes
state.
inflammation and why am I feeling lethargic or got brain fog. Second one was, what is my makeup exactly?
Mm.
Through this company that I use, it gives you updates, so it improves. It improves all the time. I shouldn't hit the microphone. It improves all the time, and so again, it gives you things around even chest infections, the type of things you might need to look out for when you're slightly older. Um, I think mine came up with this paternal line to, you're not going to believe this, but I'll show it to you afterwards. It's a direct paternal line to King Louis XIV.
Oh well.
And
An
I
inheritance.
was like,
Yeah.
sweet. And then I thought, well, how many more people are probably like that? But it was so fascinating to see where that makeup of all this effort in order to build me, and
Yeah.
then one day I'll be gone again, it'll become part of the earth
Do you
again.
have any children, Mark?
Yeah, I've got 2.
So there you are. It will be here for longer. Your DNA.
For sure, yeah, it'll carry on. But it's super stuff. But I just found it quite quite an educational leveler.
Mm.
And then from there, I can say, this is what's good for me. This is what obviously isn't good for me. These are the type of exercises I should focus on. Forget this other stuff. And then based upon that, I can at least try and help or prevent bringing forward some of these issues. That's what I'm going to have as part of my genetics. Even tells you when you're going to peg it.
Really?
And you can choose whether or not you want to know or don't want to know.
Nice. No, I never tried. This is something where I need to look into it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm here longer than you, yeah? Maybe not.
Well, I've taken it on as a competition now to go right. I now know what
All
it
right,
is.
no pressure, no
I'm going to
pressure.
try and can I try and beat it somehow?
We may be related, my friend. You never know now.
You never know. Well, some of the exciting things out of it was I was getting these updates saying this part of your DNA here, this particular type of code, this DNA here is linked to this Viking warrior who is buried in Sweden. In this place in Sweden, your DNA is from that Viking warrior. I was like, no way,
Wow.
no way. But then it'll be the same for us. If you imagine, we're all from the same thing,
Yeah.
so we'd all have those links back. But I just found it incredibly fascinating.
It would be interesting if I have some people back DNA somewhere in Egypt.
There's only one way to go and find out.
Well, yeah, I need to do this test.
Because you might say, well, where did my dark hair come from, or where did my sort of greeny blue eyes come from, or whatever, you know? And so, because especially if your parents don't have any of those characteristics, let's just say, because I'm telling you now, my parents don't have my characteristics, so I'm
Really?
like, where is this from? So you sort of fish it back to. So the European element, of course, is from France, Germany, and Portugal. I had no clue about that at all.
Wow. And did you tell your parents about this?
I haven't told them.
Why?
Well, because I'm going to say to my mum, are you sure you didn't have a bit of a fling with somebody? Are you absolutely sure that everything's kosher here?
Really? No way.
I wouldn't do that. I'm only joking. But it was. I just found it was interesting. But I was also understood being 100% Northern European over tens of thousands of years.
So, can you see what year have you been moved to this island? When did you came to?
So, it's really interesting because on the the paternal line, it was probably over the last 100 years or so.
Okay.
The maternal line, but the maternal line has been here for as long as you can.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it goes back hundreds of years into farming. So there's a real farming sort of line that way, but paternally it's different. It's from Europe.
Yeah, it would be interesting because just for interest, if I ever been here in my past, and if I ever been in Egypt, you know, the goddess.
Well, perhaps you should have a look.
I will do, you know,
Yeah.
after we having this chat.
It's really grounding. It's great. It's great fun, you know. And there's also different amounts of money you can pay depending upon what it is, you know. So you just spit into a vial. You don't have to have your blood taken or anything to spit into it. As you know, saliva is blood. It just doesn't have is it red cells or something? It's just
Yes.
white. So they can take that, and then they can then give you your data.
It's fascinating.
Super. Yeah.
When
But it was all sorts. They even told me, you're probably about 5'11", 6 foot tall. You've probably got dark hair. You've probably got blah 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 blah. I was like, yeah. How do you know this?
Wow. That's it's something where I will definitely look for because I never had it done. And with the blood test, yes, I do go quite regularly because it's something. Well, I know if I'm in Slovakia, we would be called for the general prevention checks. Obviously, it's not in this country, so we go abroad.
I just wonder because if you understand yourself,
Yeah?
you're able, because not all medicine will help everybody in the same way.
Absolutely.
So I'm allergic to antibiotics, for example. So
Not to all of them.
there's certain antibiotics which
Yes,
I
so
can't take, right? And other people can, and so forth. And so by understanding those things, especially, I think I sort of became aware of it when I turned to 50, when I was 50, I thought I really want to understand some of these things. So that's why I decided to do it. But from there, you can really focus, which is why a lot of things you're saying to me ring really true around the holistic therapy and the alternative medicines, because you go, that makes sense to me. And you can almost target specifically the type
Certain
of
areas.
therapy.
Yes.
Which would be handy if we could all do that, wouldn't it? That'd be super.
There's really good professor in America. Can't remember exactly from what state. We do communicate on social media, and he is a fully advocate of the same belief as I have. You need to look for every single aspect: physical, chemical, and mental. So physical, move, chemical, eat, and mental mindset. And if all these trees will work well, you more likely be able to prevent certain conditions happen to you. Because if you will eat well, you obviously you're gonna feel stronger. You eliminate certain health conditions, and you can prevent that. If you will move, I don't say when you exercise nothing is gonna happen to you. Yes, you can go in a gym and break your foot. Well, sometimes you can't prevent, but you will improve your cardiovascular system, your joints lubricate because joints need a lot to be able to stay nice and healthy. Your spine will be happy because you are moving. Your muscle will be nice and juicy because you're moving them. You overall will feel better. Your lymphatic system will be flying, and then emotional. Well, you will feel mentally well and good. You will have good night's sleep. You will be so positive. So the life will be different, and all this will help to your longevity.
So I think because there's so much information out there, you can become overwhelmed with it.
Massively.
So everybody now has a phone; they can look at anything, and you get what are my symptoms first of all, and everything says that you're dying. Number one. Number two is then there are so many supplements I can take, so many physical exercises I can do, and I think people become overwhelmed with it. One close friend of mine absolutely is overwhelmed with it, and I think when you see somebody who's ripped, they've obviously put 10, 20 years into their physical well-being, they look great, this is what they do, and that just isn't attainable over 6 weeks or 8 weeks. And he sort of gives in, and ends up not feeling great again. And you just have to, I think, try and keep things as simple as you possibly can. So what I was going to ask you was because of the knowledge you have, we could speak for 15 hours.
We could easily,
right?
Yeah.
But there's probably, I don't want to say 5 things because it sounds wrong, but there's probably some simple steps anybody could take.
Yes.
Just to get some feeling of well-being, even if there's lots of pain and everything else, because a lot of us do have that. There's obviously reasons for that, but what would they be? What would you advise?
3 main ones.
3 or 4 things to do.
3 is enough. We don't even need to go more. Move. And the movement doesn't mean to go and sign yourself in the most lucrative gym. Just move. Sometimes for someone can be 5 minutes movement outside of their comfort zone achievement. Then for someone it will need to be, 20 minutes. But for someone who be in a couch potato, the 5 minutes will be amazing achievement. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just take the things, small steps for the longer. You want to change your life. You don't want to change yourself. You just want to be the best you. So the first will be move. Find yourself activity to make you happy. If it's a basketball, or if it's a netball, if it's a gym, if it's a group exercise, if it's an alone exercise. If you need a personal trainer, reach out. Me, someone else. It's so many. If you need yoga, then go and do yoga, Pilates. It's so many options. Just move. Movement will be. If you need exercise at home, just open the YouTube. Do something out of your comfort zone to be able to make the changes lasting. I'm strongly disagree with a quick fix, because usually quick fix will come with a bloody quick trash after crash, and you worse than when you started. Just change your life slowly. You don't need a code. as they call the bad food. No, try to replace in the certain things and looking for more healthier options. You don't need to stop eating your chocolate. I have a chocolate almost every day, but I love dark chocolate because I know it's full of antioxidants. It helps with my heart and my arteries. That's why. Yes, I love nuts. It's full of fat. So what? That's my fat, not your fat. You using 1 calorie spray, well, I use my lot. It's fine. We still need some fat through the day. And mindset. Try to go in nature, looking for something positive, have a self-belief and just self-appreciation. Then you are on this planet for some reason and you won't have the best time. 3 things. Don't eat 5, no 6, no 10. 3. Move, eat well and think about yourself as you are the one special person and you've been here born for one reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
It's and when you will combine all these 3, that's 3 things enough to care about yourself well, because the small movements long term, the small food adjustment, you don't need a cook. Yes, if you like takeaway, okay, but kebab, chicken, beef, I don't know, lamb with the vegetable and pita bread, there's nothing wrong with that. Instead, I don't know, McDonald's. Well, I don't see any nutritional value of the McDonald's, but if I will eat chicken kebab, well, sorry, it's a full of protein. That salad, if you don't want to have a sauce, don't. And well, piece of bread, well, it's a carbohydrates, you still need them. You can't be fully, well, you can, but again, no for the long term. Balance it out, rebalance your life with 3 things. Move, eat well, and think that you are the best.
Now you've poured into the local heroes mug magnesium
water. It's from the Slovak shop. It's a natural spring in either Czechoslovakia, I don't remember exactly. And again, that's not the water where you're going to drink full day every day. It's something we're drinking as the supplement water.
Super. Yeah, well, it's great. I like it. So I need to go and get some. So you have this massive set of credentials, as I said, walls covered in certificates everywhere. And then through your clinic door is what I would call a small gym, but it was awesome though. I loved it. You had a great rig in there. You haven't got every weight that you can think of, but you do have in terms of all body.
The base.
Yeah, but it was good quality kit. You could see that, and it wasn't overwhelming either, which told me that you did functional fitness training as well. So as well as the holistic healing and functional healing that you would do, there must be some skeletal manipulation that you must do. That gym, I'm assuming, again, is what, for injury prevention as well as injury healing? What do you use that for?
Yeah, or just movement in general, one-to-one trainings.
As in personal training?
Yeah, as in personal trainings. Before the COVID, as I said at the beginning, I was based in a gym and I was teaching classes as well. But now I either have my clients for one-to-one, either in my own gym or I do take them in hard labor.
Oh, yeah, what a cool gym that is.
What a cool
By the
gym.
way, packed full of equipment and immaculately clean.
Yeah.
Isn't it, though? It's like
spot on cleaning.
Yeah, it's like proper. And I think even if there's a tear happens in one of the seats, it's replaced straight away. He replaces the equipment all the time.
Really, really care. He's the cleanest.
It's the DBs, isn't it? But your gym, again, you'll do the one-to-ones in there. I suppose training with you're going to get that. You're going to do the exercise as well first time, with some reality check in there, which says, "Oh, you want big quads, do you? Okay, that's going to take you a couple of years." So you're going to. I suspect you're going to have an honesty conversation.
It's it's no point to. I always say to people, realistic goals. You can't just have something what you know, the first of all, it's going to put the pressure and stress on you. Do you need that? No, you need small realistic steps to be able to maintain them, and once that is achieved, then you have the big goal, and then when that is achieved, then you have another goal. Just don't, why? That's not life. If you're gonna stress yourself out, and realistically, if you are let's say mother, female, 3-4 kids at home, part-time, full-time job, well, realistically, you need to know if you physically gonna have a time for yourself, because it's so easy to give you exercise plan for 3-4 sessions a week for 4-5, well, 8 weeks, but you know you won't be able to do it. Just have a realistic goal. Sometimes the 15 minutes a day, and do it 3-4 times a week for a start, just to get you started, will be enough. You can't compare yourself to someone who is in fitness industry or who is unemployed and have full day for themselves. So, and that adaptability and accountability to the situations and facing the realistic situation, it's what you need.
Yeah.
Same as the food. You're not gonna today, from tomorrow I'm gonna eat well. Just change the small things, even now. Well, you asked me if I want anything downstairs. No, I already had a coffee before.
Yeah.
If I will drink so much coffee, well, I'm going to be off my roof, and my heart is going to hate me as well. Small things will last longer, and you don't need make yourself so stressful. So if you've never been in a gym, that's fine. Maybe your session won't be an hour. Maybe 15 minutes for the first time will be enough for you if you haven't been before. Because if you never done anything and I'm going to put so much stress on you, well, you can crash, go home, and I never see you again. But if you will do something where you slowly adapt to the situation, it's going to have a long-term lasting result effect.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Obviously, there will be a million people who will say something different. Even now with the back pain, they said, you can move whatever, posture doesn't matter. Well, I still believe it does.
Posture matters.
But you will have the clinical...
Everything goes, bit like an elastic band, isn't it? You know, and everything shrinks, you've got to stretch everything, you've got to hydrate yourself, so
energy
you
can't flow.
Look after the disc and your
yes,
spine.
But the new research says posture doesn't matter. You can move whatever way you want. Well, it's okay, that's your opinion, mine's different, and we will disagree, that's fine. You believe what you want, I will believe what I want, but I still believe the posture does matter. I've seen it on myself. If your head is going to be forward, you're causing compression on your cervical spine, your energy can't flow, it's going to have an impact on your mind, blood pressure. I've seen more and more people come in with the blood pressure issues, and they usually have the similar postural problems. Once you will adjust that, I had a client and he came off blood pressure tablets by just adapting.
Adapting his diet.
No, well, his diet was fine. It was more sitting behind the desk, loads behind the computers. The posture is not the greatest. So, but he improved. He had a few sessions with me. He improved, and he's off the medications. How amazing is that?
Which is the whole idea.
Well, exactly.
Part of your credentials are working with the rugby sevens.
I did 2013-14. That was a nice achievement through the university. I have done loads placement with Wolves, Witness Warriors, Sail Sharks, Rugby Sevens, local rugby clubs, and 4 seasons I spent with the ice hockey team in Witness. So fantastic. Obviously, I'm forever grateful. Also, nearly 15 years I'm part of the charities, where I think so past 10 years I was on every single London Marathon, part of the NCPC, Kids in Needs. No, NSPCC. Yeah, NSPCC, the green one. Yeah, again, forever grateful for the opportunity, and it's just my time to give away to someone who need it more. And past 10 years, I'm part of the cycling tour company as well. And every year we have about 12 to 15 tours around the UK, London to June Grove. And we usually meet in the middle where I will give my cyclist the best help with recovery. It's fantastic, honestly. I sometimes I can't believe what everything gold is involved, and how much time I just spend and gain, and people who I met all over the world, because people who are joining this, especially cycling tours, cycling holidays, they come Mark from Australia, China, America, Canada, New Zealand, England, obviously, Europe. I met May from California, and we did stay in contact via the social media. So it's fantastic, fantastic. And just the fact, when I was in rugby sevens, I met the guys from a physio team from Georgia, and we did stay in contact even till today on social media. Then when the rugby, and through there I met, and I was a part of the recovery team when the guys from the France Toulouse was here. So we organized a few other students and we gave them the recovery sessions. So fantastic. When I look back for everything for everything I achieved or I was part of for this girl from the little village, it is amazing. And all the charities as well, the local charities, whenever was some cycling or the running occasion around here, I've been involved. Sandra Coast, the local one, so I put the time away. Also, back in days, I was part of the Warrington Health and Wellbeing festival. What was, I think so, every week, every month in Friends Meeting House. I met another practitioners and therapies there, and other people. So and friendships what I built from college and universities and the private courses are amazing. And yeah, still on. Good.
So where can people get hold of you?
So they can hold of me either via social media. So I'm on Instagram as MB_, MB Therapy and Training as Martina, and my surname Bencova, or Facebook. That's the easiest way.
And do you have a website?
It's under. It will be, and it will be the same as my surname, but it's in recovery.
Okay,
So,
well, we'll put it into the link anyway once
Yeah.
it's ready. But Instagram,
Instagram is the big
Facebook,
one,
yeah.
and loads of people these days using Fresher app. It's a booking app, and they can find me again under my name, Martina Bencova.
Okay, well, look, I think everybody's going to know how passionate you are and the way in which you want to heal people in the right way, with honesty as well, which is really refreshing. So thank you for that, and it only leaves me to say you are a local hero.
Oh,
Martina.
Mark, thank you.
And thanks very much for spending the time with us
It's
today.
been an honor, and yeah, I'm grateful to be a part. And I think so. You're gonna see my friends after.
Yes, indeed. Yeah,
And
Josh.
we spent a few months with training as well. Because every therapist need a therapist, and even every coach need a coach to sometimes just to check performance. I went to see Josh, the guy who will be after me, when I purely wanted to improve my moves and master the moves, and it was fantastic.
And he was the man. Perfect.
And he is the perfect man, perfect for performance.
Martina, thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Cheers.
It's been a pleasure.